All right, welcome back, everyone. This next presentation is going to be fantastic and will help tie all of this content together. We all felt when we were putting this program together that although obviously the most critical piece of doing virtual consults and same-day starts is the actual in-office team chemistry and choreography, it's also equally, if not as or more important, for your community to know that you offer these services and how you message and how you tell your story to actually drive people to call into your practice, to take interest in your practice from offering these services. Brian Wright is the founder and CEO of New Patient Group and is the co-host of the New Patient Group podcast. He's the managing partner for Wright Chat and the author for Benson & Koppel resource. He's an international speaker in business and life coach for companies including Invisalign and OrthoFi. So happy to bring you on, Brian. Welcome to the podcast.
Let's get this going.
I think it's garbage because at some point we all bought into this lie that you've got to feel ready in order to change. Yeah. We bought into this complete falsehood that at some point you're going to have the courage. At some point you're going to have the confidence, and it's total bullshit. And so there are so many people in the world, and you know, you may be watching this right now, and you have these incredible ideas, and what you think is missing is motivation. And that's not true. Because the way that our minds are wired, and the fact about human beings, is that we are not designed to do things that are uncomfortable or scary or difficult. Our brains are designed to protect us from those things because our brains are trying to keep us alive. And in order to change, in order to build a business, in order to be the best parent, the best spouse, to do all those things that you know you want to do with your life, with your work, with your dreams, you're going to have to do things that are difficult, uncertain, or scary, which sets up this problem.
One of the things that we know about life is that it is always changing. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. Sometimes things go real well, and sometimes they don't. Now that's that thing called life. That we will never ever have things just on an even keel all the time. That you're going to have some ups and you're going to have some downs. But during those down moments, that's where the growth takes place. See, anybody can feel good when they have their health, their bills are paid, they have happy relationships. Anybody can be positive then. Anybody can have a larger vision then. Anybody can have faith under those kinds of circumstances. See, but the real challenge of growth, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, comes when you get knocked down. Somebody said that insanity is doing the same thing in the same way, expecting a different outcome. Are you going through it or are you growing through it? Are you bigger and better because of it? We, to a great extent, behave, think, react because of some previous experience that we've had.
Because adversity is absolutely the foundation of success.
Hey, everybody. Welcome inside the broadcast booth. Hope you're doing great out there, and thanks for spending time with me personally and the other great speakers that went today. You know, I believe greatness happens from every difficult situation. Today, you know, we have a lot of goodies at New Patient Group to go through, and I dug into that bag. And part of that bag today that I wanted to put together was given some motivation, which I do and spend a lot of my time around the world speaking for entrepreneurs in all professions, because greatness happens from difficult situations. And I don't say bad situations because I don't believe those exist. I hope your family is well. I hope anybody out there, I hope you're feeling healthy. Obviously, the COVID is a difficult situation. But I believe if we look at this positively, there's a lot of really neat things that can come from it. And one of them that I've already seen is a new mindset to produce different results and new results. You know, my doctor mastermind group called Docpreneur, people are texting in the chat forum more than ever. We're having virtual happy hours more than ever. Today, think about it. If the COVID situation didn't happen, does OrthoFi even have this webinar? Or if they do, is there 700-800 practices registered for it? Because the reality of the situation is you always have to have a business mindset that a COVID situation is right around the corner, whether it be another practice, whether it be a COVID situation. You always have to be proactive about your business instead of reactive. So always remember that for all the attendees today, so critical that when things are great and things are going really well, it's easy. But when it's difficult times like this, it shows you really what you're made of. Right now, we're all being punched in the face. Every company out there, plumber, entrepreneur that owns any type of company, orthodontist, clients that are on today, hi. You know, every one of you are in a different spot. We have clients that just started their practice a month ago and are getting punched in the face with this. We have ones that have been around for 20 years. They're some of the highest producing clinicians in the world that are being punched. Everyone's being punched a little bit differently. And another thing that's being punched hard is the orthodontic profession in itself. If you look at the numbers as proof, and I like talking about these numbers. The great Chris Benson, he and I, he's a data guru. I speak with him with Invisalign. We consult with Align Technology together. In 2019, you're looking at a stagnated profession. And there's a lot of reasons for this. Production only at 2.9% growth. Collections was under 5% growth. Exams, whether it be adults and children, were basically no growth whatsoever. The only thing that experienced growth worth anything in orthodontics in 2019 was clear aligner starts at 12.8%. And the reality is that is happening in so many practices because of an outdated mindset. Things are still being done in a lot of practices, whether it be from an internal marketing standpoint, digital marketing standpoint, how you run the business 10, 15, 20 years ago. And it's not an insult, because the reality is it's hard work. The things the great clinicians talked about today, the great TCs talked about today, the reality is it takes work. Make no mistake about what I'm going to talk about today. It's not going to be something where I can just hand you the baseball bat, the clear aligner, the widget to go on your website like a Smile Snap. The reality is if you want to commit and make the virtual consultation happen well for your practice, you have to understand it's going to take work. And for those of you who commit to it, you can transform your practice and your business like you cannot believe. You got to remember the baseball bat. It's not the bat. Do they make better bats out there than others? Sure, but it's the person swinging the bat. No different than clear aligners. Now, the consumer doesn't understand it. It's your job to educate them through content that we're going to discuss today. But the reality is while, yes, there's better clear aligners like an Invisalign as opposed to another one, but it's not the clear aligner. It is the doctor that you choose that matters. Smile Snap, no different. I love Greg, big fan of Smile Snap. But the reality is that widget is not going to go out and sell you new patient consults. You and your team are, by putting in the work that everyone's talking about today and what I'm going to be talking about today. And that leads us in what we're going to talk about today, the 3 pillars of business success. I teach this to business owners all over the world, new patient group. This is what we do under one roof, under one program. And when you look at these 3 pillars, there's never been a time where they're more important, because if you look at them, there isn't one thing you're ever going to do in your career with your business where all 3 don't have to be a part of it. And we're going to dive in today on an experience on this journey, okay? And what you're seeing on the screen pull up right now is what we're going to focus on. You know, every business has a journey, start to finish, from acquisition to conversion, everywhere in between and beyond. And today I want to focus on the digital presence. How do you get people to even care you do a new patient virtual consultation? And also, how are you using your digital marketing to help increase your same-day starts? The new patient phone call, and we'll talk about this. I'm so passionate about the new patient phone call, or the new client phone call for small businesses. I started another company called Wright because it solves so many problems. And the point being there is the phone calls are the most important piece of any puzzle for a small business. Now, I'm going to tell a story a little bit that'll help paint that picture. And then downtime. What most practices use is in between a patient coming into the office, or in between the time the patient shoots the photos, and then you meet with them virtually through an app, Zoom, whatever it might be that you use. How can you use that to help grow your digital marketing and actually enhance the experience of that patient? And these relate to digital internal marketing. That's what we're talking about today. The beauty of the 3 pillars of business success is you don't need anything else. If you are strong internally and you are strong digitally, you literally can pocket every other single nickel that you would ever otherwise spend on advertising and put that in your bank account. You do not need external advertising. So we're going to start off with, and for those of you clients, you know it. For those of you who see me speak around the country, maybe even around the globe, you realize that you'll never see me do any kind of presentation, whether it's for 10 minutes or 5 hours, that doesn't at least touch on leadership and culture. Because here's the reality. Anything that's being talked about today by the other great speakers or by me, the only way it's going to get implemented is with your leadership and culture, how you run the business. The reality is culture is the ultimate competitive advantage in the new dental economy. It trumps any strategy you will ever try to implement because, again, going back to the bat, the clear aligner, smile snap, the work you're going to put in with each one of those to make it work. And the only way that's going to pay off is if you have the right culture. You've got to have the right culture. And there's 3 keys I want to give you right now that if you take to heart, it's going to just grow your practice, whether it be the virtual consultation, a same-day in-house start. This is the foundation right here to allow you to implement the ideas that all of us are talking about today. Again, without that culture, it will not happen. The very first one is do it first. I cannot emphasize the days of I'm going to be the clinician or I'm going to be the office manager and I'm going to sit over here. Meanwhile, everybody else, you have to do it. You get better on the phones. You learn how to present money better. You shoot the YouTube content. Those days are over. What you have to remember is a boss pushes, leaders pull. You've got to be the first one to do it on your team if you expect any of your employees to do it. If you want them to be great at the financial presentation, the new patient phone call, customer service, whatever it might be, you have to show them that you're willing to become an expert at it too. Otherwise, they shouldn't do it. And that's the entrepreneur side of owning a business that's so critical to the success. If you want to lead people, you have to pull it. Just as an example with this video right here. That video got over 60,000 TikTok likes in only a couple weeks. But the point of me playing that video, that's Dr. Skopak. You're going to see him a lot today. And I know you're listening out there, man, so don't let that go to your head. But the point being is he does it first. When you're willing to do videos like that moves the needle, it becomes so easy to get your other employees, your office manager employees, whatever it may be, to follow your lead. You have to do it first. The other one, be sticky. Everybody listening, don't waste your and your employees' time. Implement the things that you want to implement. Implement them well. Implement them so well that they grow your practice. And there's a book, The Ultimate Sales Machine, something I've taught business owners for years. It's called the Operational Success Meeting. This particular book calls it something different. But I like to find New York Times bestsellers that back what we teach, because a lot of what we teach, it's very common in the entrepreneur world, but very uncommon for many years in the healthcare world that happen to be running their own business as well. This book is fantastic, and it talks about blocking time every single week to make sure you have time to work on your business. See, we all work in our business every single day. Being the clinician, you're in the mouth all day long. That's working in the business. So the question is what time do you have blocked every week to work on your business? And this book dives into a lot of that. And I think it'd be a great read for you to help take these things that you're going to be learning today and actually go implement them. The other one, the 4 Disciplines of Execution, talks about the WIG, the psychology of humans. We teach this all over the world, that humans struggle a lot if you're trying to implement any more than 3 things at once. This book does a great job diving into that at a higher level. And it's a big part of our program in the sense that if you try to implement more than that, you are going to fail, or you're more likely to fail. Okay, so those 2 books are fantastic because they both lead to the ultimate word, is implementation. We all know that consistency is what makes people great. Whether you're an athlete, whether you're trying to lose weight, the reality is you can't go to the gym for 9 hours a day for a week and see results. What you have to do is go to the gym at least 20 minutes a day to see the results, or 20 minutes a day, a few days a week to see results over the course of time. And that's the mentality with this. If you try to implement something, you don't see it work, and you try it for a week, it's not long enough. You have to become great at it. The last one, embrace the change. And again, these 3 are going to help you go back and implement all the things we're going to dive into today. I have the utmost, for those of you who are clients, see me speak, you know this. For those of you who are seeing me for the first time, you probably don't. I have the utmost respect for your clinical abilities. So nothing I ever say is to say, the clinical abilities don't matter anymore. Matter of fact, the doctor you choose matters more than ever before. And it's your job to educate the public on why that is. The Smile Direct patients are not bad patients. They're people that don't understand why that clear aligner is different than another. They don't get it because the orthodontic community is not educating them with enough content for them to understand why the doctor you choose matters. But the reality is the better business is now defeating the better clinician. We live in a new dental economy, and that is where we live. The better CEO, the better business is defeating the better clinician. Now, we want it to be both for the patient. And the reason all these things and transformations are happening is because of the consumer. When people say today's consumer, that doesn't mean just millennials and Gen Z. I tell the story about my wife's grandma, who's 80, she's in her late 80s, buys things on Amazon, will text you. She would probably choose your virtual consult rather than come in. It's not because she can't walk. She's perfectly healthy. She drives, perfectly healthy. But the reality is everybody is today's consumer. People are busier than ever before. There's going to be a lot of things we talk about that today. But because the consumer's changed, and now they buy based on an experience, and when we're going to dive into all today is experience, how you take that front end of the new patient from digital marketing, phone call to downtime, how you enhance that consumer experience to the point where they almost have to buy from you. They almost feel obligated to buy from you because of how unbelievable they feel they were treated. And everything you see on the screen brings in the new dental economy because the reality is nothing you see there has anything to do with orthodontics. Now, it needs to be applied to the orthodontic environment, of course. But the new patient phone call, sales fundamentals, financial presentation, you functioning as an entrepreneur and a CEO, digital marketing, customer service, hospitality, the list is endless, has little to nothing to do with orthodontics. But they all go in to enhancing that consumer experience. And there's an actual definition. For those of you who've seen me speak before, you know I'm big on this because people love to talk about customer service, and then you ask them what the actual Webster's dictionary of it is, and they can't tell you. And until you know these definitions, it's very difficult to fully grasp what you're trying to carry out. From a customer service standpoint, we'll dive into this more. The definition of customer service, and this is something to always remember, that definition starts when your business gets what it wants from its respective clientele. That's how the definition starts. So if your business doesn't get what you want, it's not customer service. It's a very misunderstood term. But that definition continues on with, meanwhile, your customers, clients, patients, whatever your respective clientele is, need to believe they received more than they expected via every touch point along that journey with your business. So if you remember that step ladder, digital marketing to the phone call to downtime, along the way, every step of that needs to exceed what they otherwise would have expected. Every word out of your mouth, etc. And all that leads into what is an experience. It's important for you to know this. It's the unique ability to approach and react to each customer individually throughout their specific journey. It does not matter, and this is a very difficult thing to grasp. You have to throw your personal bias out the door when you talk about customer service and experience. You may be somebody that hates the virtual consultation, as an example. The reality is how you and I feel about something means nothing. It only matters what the data says and what the consumer says. That's it. And the reason you should care more than ever before about providing a very unique experience to your clients on the virtual consult, in-house, every touch point, is look at this screen. 88% of consumers are willing to pay more for a great customer service experience. It is a huge misunderstood interpretation that patients go to Smile Direct Club because they're cheap. They go to Smile Direct Club because they're uneducated and it's convenient, and it's more convenient than your practice likely. That's why they go. The data shows and proves Gen Z and millennials will spend more if they see value in what they're buying. So if somebody comes to your practice and says, the guy down the street is $1,000 less, I'm going to buy from them, don't get mad. That's not a price shopper. It means that you didn't put enough added value somewhere along that customer journey for them to go, here's my money. 70%, according to Walker, of consumers not only want, they expect a personalized customer service experience. 88% of consumers say they're more likely to do business with a company that delivers a personalized experience. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. This is the big one. This is my favorite study done in recent years because it proves the point. Almost 90%, this is in and out of healthcare. And this is something you should really take home and remember. Because again, the days of the best clinician, the days of you being the best clinician, being enough to grow your business and dominate the community, the days are over. Now that's a piece to the puzzle, okay? Again, it's not that it's not important. It's now just a piece where before it was enough to dominate. It's no longer. Almost 90% of people surveyed said that they would choose or remain with a business because of the quality of their customer service rather than whether or not that company was any good at what they did. Think about that for a second. It's all experience related. And now we're going to dive in today, and we're going to start with employee training. We always want to start there because that's inside your doors. Internal marketing always produces a higher return than anything outside your doors, and also a quicker return. And I'm going to give you a couple examples why here momentarily. So we're looking at the new patient phone call. How do we convert using a fabulous experience by getting people to know, like, and trust us, and also create a brand? Using your receptionist as your brand generator is one of the quickest ways to generate brand awareness. Okay, it's also a quick way to immediately start getting this virtual consultation implemented into your practice and closing it same day. Now, one of the things along this journey that I want you to constantly be remembering today is that customized journey. That's why the definitions of these things are so critically important. If you don't know the definition, it's very difficult, like I said. So remember what that definition, that customized experience per client, per patient, per customer. And there's 3 things you need to accomplish in every new patient call, but we're going to focus today on creating value. Okay, like I said, the phones are the most important form of marketing that exists. There is no bigger return than the phones. It's very difficult sometimes to convince people of that. And especially for smaller businesses existing in a competitive marketplace, because when your receptionist picks up a telephone, she is the third one they've spoken to. That is the mentality that you always have to have. Receptionists that are on here today listening, you are in direct competition with every other receptionist that person has spoken to prior to you or after, which means every word out of your mouth has to provide added value to separate yourself. And think about it, everything points back to the receptionist. There is nothing you're ever going to do, yes, unless they schedule online, so I understand that. But anything you try to do points back to that person. Because if you want to start immediately converting new patients that don't know you offer it, because again, what we're going to talk about down the road today is how you start generating a brand to let people know you offer it and why they should care. This, when you go implement this, this is your way to start building that brand instantly tomorrow. And you will be surprised how many people actually select the new patient virtual consult. I tell the story a lot about a restaurant experience. When I met my wife, we went out to this place called Nino's with her family, and they're the type that the second they sit down, they want to order, no matter how nice the restaurant. You know, your waiter comes up and visits you for the first time. Most people, you know, maybe get an appetizer, some wine, whatever it may be. They want to order the whole thing. Well, my wife and I are very much people that want to sit there all night. And whether it be 3-4 hours, we want to close the place down. To us, that's an experience. But the reality is that restaurant can't jam either or down each other's throats. Can you imagine if they made my wife's parents wait the entire night? No, you can't leave. You can't order yet, or vice versa. So by offering just one experience to people is kind of like jamming that restaurant experience down their throat. This is that customized experience. And obviously there's other parts of the new patient call, but this is partly once you get to scheduling them. Remember, offer dual close options, all right? It's a sales fundamental, and you let them tell you what they perceive as a great experience. We see this in clients' practices now. Your conversion rate goes up because if you offer my wife your virtual or in-house, she's picking the virtual every time. She has a 4- and 3-year-old. We have a 4- and 3-year-old. She's busy. She wants the virtual. Doesn't make her a bad patient. Doesn't mean she doesn't want to spend more money. She just wants to get to know, like, and trust you at the convenience of her schedule. Now, I am more of the old school guy. I want to come in. You need to treat me like a rock star. Doctor, if you don't give me 20, 30 minutes of your time, there's no way I'm buying. I'm old school, but see, that's the point of you have to teach people based on data, because it would be irresponsible for me to get on this webinar or speak all over the world to business owners and try to teach them the way they should do it based on how I want. And that's the key. You got to remove that bias. So let's go through this script really quick. There's a couple pages. And then what I'm going to do is show you how you use your receptionist to immediately tie in and start growing your digital marketing experience. All right. There's a lot of videos I'm going to show you today from our clients and give you examples of what they do. So receptionists, we have 2 fabulous experiences for you to choose from. Our patients love both of them, and to respect your time, they both allow you to get started with your treatment at that very first appointment. A quick comment about that. You got to understand that you know things that the consumer does not. So imagine me calling 3 different practices, and the only receptionist that told me that I could get started day 1, to me now, you're the only practice. That receptionist just advertised to me that we are the only practice in town that offers a same-day start. Why? Because the other receptionist didn't tell me. This is how powerful the verbiage, every word out of your receptionist's mouth is. And psychologically, it totally changes how people show up to that appointment, whether it be virtually or in-house. Because if they show up not knowing they can even hand you their money that day, they may be unprepared. It's a big killer for the same-day start. Now, continuing on, the first option is our virtual experience that allows you to take photos from the comfort of your home or office, upload them right on our website, and then you will get to meet with our great doctor and financial expert via the computer. They are fabulous at what they do, and I'm very excited for you to have the opportunity to meet with them. The second option is our in-office experience, where you'll get to meet our entire team, and we're going to scan you with this really cool technology that allows you to see a 3D computer rendering of what your smile is going to look like at the end of treatment. Another comment real quick on that. Again, all of this verbiage is going into them buying from you same day, whether it's virtually. Obviously, if they choose the virtual route, you can't 3D scan them yet with the iTero machine or whatever machine you might use. But that's why the iTero machine is such a sales tool. Only though if the receptionist, one, you got to be using it internally on every new patient, but the other one is your receptionist has to advertise it for you. Because again, that technology is something a consumer cares about. Your X-ray machine, you shouldn't even mention it. Consumers see one thing when you mention X-rays, and it's radiation. No matter how much you like it, it's a great diagnostic tool. It is something the consumer does not. This, though, does. So again, now the other 3 practices I called, they may have a scanning technology the same way, but their receptionist didn't tell me. So again, now you're the only one that allows me to start same day. You're also the only one that allows me to see a 3D rendering of what my smile is going to look like at the end of treatment. So you're ahead of the game. Now, which would you prefer? Patient says, well, let's do that virtual exam. Fantastic. That is a great choice. You always start with positive connotation. Any question that you get asked or any response provided back, that receptionist has to start with positive connotation. One of the many things I love about working here is how advanced our technologies are and how this benefits you because you get an impeccable clinical result at the convenience of your schedule. Really quick, how this benefits you. That's called the benefit experience. It's very powerful. We're going to be doing a podcast on it in the relatively near future. And the benefit experience is you brag about yourself, your organization, your employees, your talents, and you always bring it back to the end user by saying and how this benefits you. Very important to finish that. You could be the best clinician in the world. Well, how that benefits you is ... fill in the blank. Now, once you get started with treatment, you will love that many of our checkup appointments are done virtually as well. It's so much more convenient for you and your family. Your kiddo can just step out of class for 15 minutes and get on a FaceTime with us. It's fabulous. You don't have to take off work to get your kid. Total game changer for our patients. Now, let's get you scheduled, and then I'll walk you through some steps of getting your photos to us. We have a Monday or Tuesday. Which do you prefer? A mistake I see on the virtual consult is people don't schedule then. They say, hey, just go to the website. They give them direction, which is all fine and good. We're still going to get there on the next screen. But you still have to get them on the books, just as if they were coming in. You've got to get them on the books for a go-to meeting, a Zoom, whatever technology you use. Don't lose that potential sale by not converting it right then, okay? Now, this continues on. Let's say they say Monday. Well, great. I want to be the first to welcome you into our orthodontic family. The first step to take is visit our website at whateveryourpracticename.com, and in the lower right-hand corner, you will see a virtual consult button. Simply click that, and it will take you through the steps of how to take the photos and also get to those photos. Now, this part right here, this is where you start advertising your digital marketing at the same time. Also, I'm about to send you a text message with a few important items. The first one you'll receive is a welcome video from our doctor that also has a virtual welcome tour of our office. We're big on welcome tours, but only if the verbiage is right. If it's not, you're wasting millennials, Gen Z, you're wasting people's time. It has to have very specific verbiage for it to still work. So it's really cool. We get good feedback from our clients. As the reality is that, yeah, you can do a welcome tour if they're there, but you also can do a virtual welcome tour whenever they pick the virtual experience. So easy. Now I'm going to show you some examples here momentarily. Now, the second video is from our doctor as well that provides additional instructions on how to best take the photos we will need in order to give you the best experience at your virtual consult. And the third one will be the online meeting login information for your virtual appointment that we have exclusively reserved for you on Monday, May 7th at 3 p.m. Let's take a look at how you can use your downtime. Boom, you've got them scheduled. Phone calls over. You are hospitable, customer service, great experience, use value proposition words. They're booked. They're excited. They look at you as a totally different light than the other two practices they've called. Now, what happens? You've got to stay on their mind, okay? You've got to use what otherwise would be downtime to still convert them. Remember, each one of these steps can make or break the next step. You can have the best new patient call in the world, but if it's a week before they come in and they forget about you, life kicks people in the you-know-where. So that excitement dissipates, which is another reason why you need to schedule these things as quickly as you possibly can. The beauty of the virtual consult is if you have a new patient coming in your office, well, you can double book those. A lot of different ways, scheduling ways that we can teach you about that. So let's take a look at downtime, okay? And again, this goes back to digital marketing, but it's internal marketing to drive your digital marketing. See, training your employees on how to speak is internal marketing. And it drives people to your digital presence, which is why all of this is clarifying your message from start to finish. Your message has to cohesively bring excellence to your brand in the mind of that consumer. And this is an example. First, remember the receptionist said, go to our website and look in the right-hand corner. This is Dr. Drew Ferris, who is a faculty member of Invisalign. We speak together there. He's a client of ours. And you can see in the lower right-hand corner, he uses Smile Snap. So that's how the receptionist is going to drive that there because they may not know it exists yet. All right. If people hit your website and they don't even know the virtual appointment is an option you have, or it's not even on their mind, they could easily overlook that widget, which again goes back to you've got to train your people. And then the only way your people are going to implement that training is if your culture and your leadership is right from a how you run the business standpoint. So that's how you get more website traffic visitors. Receptionist drives them here. Now, important to text these videos out because text messages is much more 2020 than emails. Anything you can communicate via text, most people, of course there's exceptions, but the vast majority of people, statistically proven, would rather utilize a text feature than having to go in their email. So when you text out the things that the doctor or the receptionist said they were going to, that's an example I took from my phone. And that's how it comes through. That link automatically populates the video from YouTube. All right. So we're about to look at that. So this is another way to grow your YouTube station because the more views you get of a video, does it guarantee visibility? No, it's just part of the puzzle. But the more views you're getting, the more likely it is it's going to help you with your search rankings on Google and YouTube. And we're going to talk about how those search rankings are intertwined now. Okay. So that right there is going to be clicked on by the patient. And then it's going to open up something like this.
Hi, I'm Dr. Skopek, and that's awesome. You guys chose the virtual exam option. You're going to love software. It's going to walk you through a series of steps, gather some information, instruct you on how to take some photographs with your cell phone. And we're going to study those. We can give you a real good idea of what we can provide for you orthodontically. And then we'll get together and we'll talk to you virtually. So look forward to talking to you soon.
All right, so when they're done with that, it's going to roll in to the video of the virtual welcome tour. I probably won't play all of this. This is a little bit long, but I do want you to see. I may end up playing all of it because I think it's important to give you as many ideas as possible. I look at my job whenever we do these things as a couple different things. Obviously, to give you as much value that you can take back and get implemented. The other one is to motivate you to want to implement, not just what we talk about. We talk about that all the time. I would rather you implement everything the other speakers talked about today. I would rather help do that than not, and you not implement anything any of us talked about. Implementation is key. So pick some ideas here.
When you first come in, first thing you'll notice, we have a very nice spacious reception area. Goes all the way to the back. We have some desks for homework. We have a couch with the chairs. Plenty of room in here to spread out and to socially distance. now that we're through the COVID-19 pandemic. And it's great. We're going to keep you guys safe. It's comfortable. One thing I'm bummed about, back in the corner, that's our coffee station. We used to pride ourselves. We would do fresh ground coffee every morning. We got a lot of compliments on our coffee. I'm a coffee guy, which I think a lot of people are nowadays.
I'm going to tell a quick story here. I think it's important to paint the image. Wasn't planning on doing this, but one of the reasons why he's talking about this coffee is kind of where he heard me speak and we met for the first time was a couple years ago. And I talk about this story all over because it helps paint the image. It's kind of ridiculous at the same time, but it really helps paint the image of where we're at in orthodontics. So I used to own a practice with a few doctor friends of mine. We had a few practices in Houston. And we used to grind up coffee fresh every day. We would shoot social media videos about it. We would get, fresh organic beans, grind them up, that whole deal. We had one of those massive coffee machines that did, 15 different types of coffees. And over the course of time, again, it didn't happen overnight. That's why this is hard work. It's not easy because it took us a while to generate that brand of great coffee. We used to get new patients call the office and say, we would like to schedule because we heard how great your coffee is. Now, you might laugh out there whenever I talk about that on stage, some chuckles from the audience, because it's crazy. You would think, well, maybe it's because our orthodontist is great or our office manager is amazing, whatever it might be. But the reality is that goes back into customer experience. That coffee exceeded what they otherwise would have expected. And the reality is consumers don't do this about, Dr. Skopak is the best rotator of a bicuspid I've ever seen. Oh my God, look at this. They should do that, but they don't. So the reality is everything that's commercial, the colors of your walls, your chairs, your coffee, uniforms, job titles, all of that stuff that has really nothing to do with any clinical things at all are the ultimate reason why they're going to choose you. So that's where that coffee piece comes in, and it's so critically important. They get a lot of words about that. They do video content about it. So great job.
We're going to keep the coffee area closed for a while. We're going to see what happens here now post-pandemic, but we're going to keep things clean. We're going to keep things safe. This is where everybody used to check in. We used to have a sign-in computer. Everybody would come in, type, wash your hands, and we're going to take you right to the back. This is our summer contest. We're giving away a grill, giving away a lot of cool Blackhawk stuff with it, and we are still doing that. It's going to be a great summer. And
a pearl to take back really fast. Every month or every couple months, you should be having a new patient contest that's tied into the same day start. We see this work at a very high level. See, in today's orthodontic environment, and it's any healthcare environment for that matter, is that you've got to do everything you can to get them started today. Because if you don't, there's never been a time, doesn't mean they're not going to come back, and it doesn't mean that there shouldn't be protocols in place to help enhance the chances they're going to come back. But if you have a new patient contest where people, if they start same day, will be entered to win something, they are more likely to start today than not. Again, if that's the only thing you're doing differently, not the case. But remember, this is a journey. Every touch point is different than anywhere else they may go get a second opinion, or if you're their second or third opinion, everything's got to be unique. Everything's got to be unique.
I've been around the area over 20, close to 25 years now. We've worked with a lot of communities. We've worked with a lot of patients. And, it's great. We're happy to sponsor any of our patients in sports, music, arts, plays, whatever you guys do. We love it when you guys ask us to sponsor. We have a great game room up here to the right. I see a lot of the siblings in there. I see a lot of the patients in there. I also see a lot of the parents in here. It's awesome. We're going to keep it closed down for now. Again, converted that to a hand washing station. That our clinic area is fairly large and spacious. Semi-private rooms. There's plenty of room in here to spread everyone out, to distance everyone appropriately. All the cabinetry in our office instead of impressions. This machine is more comfortable for you. The impressions are more accurate. They're faster.
And see, remember, the machine he's talking about right now isn't the first time they've heard about it, because the message is clarified and it's continuing along this journey. The receptionist has already advertised this for you in a way that separates your organization from others that people may choose. All right, now the doctor in the welcome video is continuing this. Matter of fact, even better to say, hey, you just talked to our receptionist and this is the machine she was talking about. Let me show you it in action. And that's something we're working on with practices right now, is we actually want them to see it in action. Again, millennials, Gen Z, they have got to believe in you, in your personalities. If you get them believing in you, your vision, your passion, your personalities, you will start more than you can possibly imagine on that first day. But again, not only is it your clinical abilities and that passion, it's your personal. Do they know you? Do you have a family? Do you have kids? Does your website look fun? Does it look like it was built 40 years ago or yesterday? All of those things matter. And I'm going to keep moving here from time standpoint. Remember, there was 3 things that we were going to send. We were going to send a welcome video, a virtual tour, and then now we're going to be talking also, that other video is a how to take the best photos possible. So Dr. Whitlock is going to tell us that.
Dr. Whitlock here. So I want to give you a few hints on how we want you to take our pictures so we can really take a good advantage and see what's going on. So you're going to need to do 3 things. First of all, wash your hands, which I've already done. Next, you're going to need 2 spoons, and then you're going to need a friend with your phone. Today, my son Bo is going to be helping us out. So first one, you're going to take the spoons, you're going to put the curved side towards your teeth, put them in both sides, and you're going to bite down on your back teeth. So like this. Great. Now we're going to do the 2 sides one at a time. We go to the left side. Great. Now the right side. Awesome. Now we're going to take the top and bottom teeth. So you're going to put them both in and open really wide. Step down. And now up. Great. That's all there is to it. Just send those pictures to us. Follow the instructions below. You all take care through this time, and we'll be visiting with you very soon. Thank you.
And obviously, depending on what technology you use, you may not have a widget. You may not have a Smile Snap, another type of widget, virtual consult type app. There's still ways to do it. There's Zoom meetings. There's other ways to do it. So you have to customize this verbiage, of course, around what you do as a practice. Now, I highly recommend having a Smile Snap, at least some kind of new patient virtual consultation app. Big believers in that. But again, you've got to implement all these other things for those things to work. When they're all come together as one, man, oh man, they work really, really well in today's new economy. All right, so those videos hopefully are giving you an idea of some of the content you need to go back and shoot, okay? So what we just talked about is an inside-out growth approach, okay? It's funny, when you look at these 3 pillars, and this is going to be very politically incorrect, I understand, but I'm just going to say it. Most companies are horrible at all 3 of these. That's the beauty of how much these 3 things can grow your business. Ask yourself, when's the last time you said, I want to grow my practice, so I'm going to look in the mirror and make sure I'm a better entrepreneur and learn from entrepreneurs, regardless of the type business they own. I want to learn how to be a better business person, create a better culture, be a better leader. When's the last time you asked yourself that? When's the last time you trained your people on a repetitive, every week basis forever? And then digital marketing, what does your YouTube station look like? All these videos I'm showing you, whether it be Dr. Drew Ferris, Boyd Whitlock, Bob Skopak, all the ones you're going to see today, those are fed in from YouTube. All right. So what you just saw, those 3 videos, every single time someone clicks that, if you have 20 new patients a month as an example, well, you have 60 total views. You have 20 on each one of those videos. You're building your brand internally. And these 3 pillars, the one thing that all famous companies have in common, whether you're famous in your community or you're famous like an Apple, are these 3 things are always functioning at peak levels with every famous company you know. Now, does that mean they don't have problems? No, of course not. It's not what I mean. But they are constantly striving to be great in these 3 areas. And when you do, there is no stopping your success. No stopping your success. So that inside-out growth approach, and why you always start with internal marketing first to drive your brand as quickly as you can. 1, because digital marketing outside your doors, it takes time. If you think you're going to shoot a few virtual consult videos and all of a sudden people are going to be calling you left and right about the virtual consult, don't kid yourself. It's hard work. It's going to take you a year, maybe more, probably more. of constant video production. And that's why at the front end is are you going to do this? Are you going to go back and put in those blood, sweat, and tears that we call it in order to do it? But now that you're done with internal marketing, let's dive into the digital marketing things that are very critical to do in order to now drive your brand generation. See, before, people were calling you not knowing that you had the new patient consult. You use your receptionist to start converting, and that's something literally you can start doing tomorrow. Now, let's go out and hit the public to drive the brand. And with things like your website design, the king of them all, YouTube, that we're going to talk mostly about here. And then I'm going to introduce you to my director of marketing. She did a video for everybody that's going to talk about some keys that you can go back with Facebook and Instagram, some important things that you're going to need to do there, and then we're going to wrap it up. So looking at that front end of the appointment, digital presence, how do we attract, create a brand? Reverse branding is the biggest thing I'm going to talk about today. It's a very overlooked thing. There's another term called co-branding that you're probably familiar with. Reverse branding is something very different. They do have some similarities, but reverse branding is even more powerful. How do you create a know, like, trust factor? Through content creation and optimization in order to drive people, more patients wanting that virtual. And again, in office, what we're talking about today, the welcome video, the way we text those things out, that absolutely can be done if they choose the in-office experience as well. All right. So what you're looking at here, there's some drop downs. You know, if the new patient phone call, this ladder goes a little bit differently. However, all those things you see on the screen work for virtual or the in-house. You've got to present money, right? Virtually. I mean, we have a doctor and people will buy. I mean, I just saw one of our clients, Jesse Carmen. I think he's 6 for 6 or 7 for 7, getting money over the computer of their last 7 new patient virtual consults. Now, they still have to come in and get scanned, et cetera, of course. But you just simply asking for their money over the computer is better than a lot of people. They're afraid to ask. People will give you the money if they see the experience and the value. So let's dive in here and look at it. Step 1, the days of template content are over. You should put your money in your savings account and not even have a website, not even have social media, not even have a YouTube station. If you and the entire team, remember, culture, right? This is why they all intertwine. Because there's always a few employees that are pushed back. I don't like my hair. I don't want my face on camera. I didn't like my makeup today. Didn't sleep well. Don't like the way I sound on camera. Those type things don't happen inside of businesses with a fantastic culture. So when you go and you try to implement this when you leave, are you going to be the person that says, hey, look, this is the way we're going to do it. I'm going to lead the way. I'm going to pull you. I'm going to start shooting the content first. Or are you going to let employees get out of doing this just because they say they don't want to do it? Because just that ruins the culture, and the ones who do want to do it are likely to now not. Because the reality is all of your employees have to be involved in this. It can't be a situation where Tom, Betty, and Susie are over shooting content, and then you have Nancy, Harry, and whoever else over here saying, nah, I don't want to do it. That doesn't work anymore. Because people want to know, like, and trust you before they actually come meet you. And that is done through digital marketing. Has to be exciting content. Has to be exciting content. Now let's look at brand awareness, actual definition. The extent to which customers are able to recall or recognize a brand under different conditions. And brand awareness is one of the 2 dimensions from brand knowledge and associative network memory model. And there's never been a more difficult time to generate a brand for any business. I don't care if you're a plumber, your new patient group, Wright Chat, your orthodontic practice, OrthoFi. There's never been a more difficult time. Why? Well, look at the stat from Forbes. And again, this is why looking at statistics and basing CEO to CEOs here, and also office managers, just to leadership teams. You can never implement something because you feel it's the right thing to do. You have to analyze the data and implement things based on what the data says. And this is a really important one. The average person views more than 10,000 marketing messages on any given day. Think about that. Think about that. Your competition, of course, it's another practice down the streets, you know, the direct-to-consumer. Of course, that's part of the overall puzzle. But an even bigger competition is 1, you, how you run the business. 2, your team, how they carry out training when you're not looking. And then 3, all the things you see on the screen, flat screen TVs. Do I drop $6 grand, $5 grand, $7 grand on orthodontic treatment, or do I take my family on a vacation? These things are constantly on people's mind. And you all know what happens. That same patient that says, well, let me think about it. I'm not exactly sure. I need to talk to my husband or my wife. Let me think about it. That is translation for you didn't put more value on the flat screen TV I'm looking at. That is what it is. So instead of saying, price shoppers are driving me nuts, blah, 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 what you should be saying is where did we miss the boat on our value proposition according to all the other places that they can choose to spend their disposable income? So critical. So that's why it's so hard to create a brand, because the reality is very few people looking at the screen, not many people will commit to this. Now, the famous companies do. And again, I'm not talking about this where you have to become famous, but you do want to become famous in your community. And the power of effective frequency is very, very necessary to understand today. And what it talks about psychologically is the average amount of times humans need to see, hear, think about a singular message before they're even likely to act. This number, it varies, but it can be upwards of 20, sometimes even more. So if you think you're going to have a Facebook page that you do 1 or 2 posts a week or a few things a month, or you do 1 or 2 occasional posts on Instagram as an example, or 5 videos a year on YouTube, and you think that you're going to ever create a brand that's going to compete and defeat all the direct-to-consumers, etc., you're kidding yourself. And that's, again, why it's hard work. But also why the people who are willing to put in that work don't have to do advertising anymore. So that's the beauty. All the people you see on the videos I'm playing today, all of our clients, they don't spend a nickel on outside advertising. They all grow 10, 20% a year without any money on advertising. And it's because their message is clarified from acquisition to conversion and beyond. You've got to commit to these things. And one of the ways you commit to it just simply on your website. Here's an example of Bob Skopak's site that we're about to go live with. The point with this video is your virtual consult can't be hidden. So you can't just have a widget in the lower right-hand corner and expect that to create your brand, okay? Just from the home page of this site, okay, you see an either-or type situation. You see a virtual tour embedded into the site. It's unique. It's different. Again, if they go to 5 websites, what's different about yours that makes you go, that's pretty cool? Because in the end, most websites are just the same. So how is yours different? And part of that to generate your brand is smack dab in front of their face. I'm going to pause this so you can see it. That's a choose your experience situation right there in front of you. Now, I may miss the smile widget, the virtual consultation widget, smile, snap, whatever you have. But I'm not going to miss that staring straight, because what most people will do is go, what's that? And when you click on that, that is supposed to take you to a landing page with a video from you that describes what the virtual consult is. And you will be amazed how many people pick it. It really surprises a lot of people how many people pick it, how many people are willing to spend their money right through the computer. It's a real shocker to a lot of people. It works. And no, it doesn't just attract because I hear this argument. It doesn't attract the quote unquote slums, the bad patients. It doesn't do that. Now, are you going to get some people that just don't follow through? Of course. But the reality is you would much rather have those people not follow through in a virtual consult than them come in your door and not follow through, or no-show you when you blocked an hour to see them. So this is also a good way to weed those people kind of out of coming in your practice. But the reality is, again, you've got to give them an either or. Now, there's other ways we do it, like Boyd Whitlock's site here. There's another way we do it, and that you'll see here in just a second. There's a drop-down pop-up. Now, that's his website advertisement on, hey, look, we've got the virtual consult. We've got the virtual consult. And then, boom, the video that I played for you earlier about him showing how to take those photos is right there on that page. Okay? We won't watch that video again, but the point is that's how it works. Now, your landing page can be different. And again, depending on if you have Smile Snap, something else, maybe nothing at all, you've got to understand your steps, which is where we work closely with people to understand your steps, because people a lot of times can get confused from point A to point Z, how that message is clarified throughout. Because again, it doesn't mean you're not going to close them if 1 or 2 of those letters is dropped out. But the reality is if you hit on every cylinder, A through Z, people buy from you, whether you're a flower shop, a plumbing company, a restaurant, or an orthodontic practice. Consumers buy from you at far higher levels when your message is clarified. There can't be any breakdowns. Now, reverse brand awareness. This is big. I want everybody to really take away something from this and how much it can help you. All right. Co-branding is, okay, you've got Invisalign. It's a known name. You put them on your business card. Now, it goes far beyond that as well. Reverse branding is part of that. All right. There's a lot of other things reverse branding covers that co-branding does not. What I'm going to dive into a while now is the new king in town, YouTube. For those of you who've seen me speak, you know I'm pretty passionate about this, again, because we study numbers. Quite a while ago, we started this was probably about 5 or 6 years ago as a company when we started implementing YouTube marketing into our clients' practices. And the reason why we did it was for a lot. And I'm going to walk through the statistics that when you're a CEO of an organization, it is your responsibility, and it's our responsibility for our clients to constantly keep them ahead of wherever that industry is headed. That's our responsibility, but it's also your responsibility as well with your business. And YouTube is the world's second largest search engine and second most visited after Google. And according to Google, it will become the largest search engine in the world in just a few years. The things that people for years, and again, not just younger people, now them more than anybody, but older generations as well. People reading is going further and further away, and people watching videos is becoming more and more popular. So think about it. YouTube is about to overtake Google as the largest search engine in the world. And what that simply means is people are going to YouTube to type in the same things they used to type into Google. And we're going to go into this here in a little bit, but Google actually has your search rankings directly tied to how much YouTube production you're doing for that same search term. In 5 years, more like 3 years, but definitely in 5, you will be a dinosaur if you don't have a full-fledged YouTube station optimized properly. And it represents such a huge opportunity for practices right now, because if you go to your competitions, they don't have anything, or not much, or it's coded wrong, or titled wrong, or it's just nothing but clinical stuff. Because remember, to move the needle, they've got to know, like, trust you, which is a big part clinically, of course, but it's even bigger personally. Do you like to cook? Do you like to ski? Do you like airplanes? How many kids do you have? What do you and your wife like to do? That's the stuff that moves the needle, especially in today's economy. Now, looking at these, the second most popular social media platform, YouTube is. Over 90% of U.S. internet users age 18 to 44 access YouTube on a daily basis. On mobile alone, YouTube reaches more 18, and listen to this, more 18 to 49-year-olds than any broadcast or cable TV network. Think about that. For those of you out there that do TV commercials, if you looked at the data, you would stop it yesterday. Your commercials would be put on a YouTube, whether it be YouTube or YouTube TV. That's where you do your ads, because 18 to 49, pretty much every ounce of that age is great for orthodontics. But you have to know the data, because if you don't know the data, you're still spending stuff on TV and you're not getting the bang for your buck. And your receptionist might be dropping the call whenever people call anyway. That's the other piece, that journey, start to finish. Now, search rankings, as I said, are Google. They're now dependent on what videos you're putting on YouTube. And I want to show you a couple examples. I'm not going to play this whole thing. I want to make sure that we stay on time for everything else we have today. But if you type in dental receptionist phone training into Google, this is how it helps new patient group. And it's important that we show you that we practice what we preach. So these videos are fed into the first page of Google by YouTube. We dominate the first page. That's 3 results on the first page. There's 4. All right, you clicking 5, 6, 7. This is all on the first page of Google. Out of 32 million plus results, there we are organically. And we're there because of our YouTube. We are there again. And then we're there again. Now, your practice isn't competing likely on a national, even global basis. So it's that much easier for you to do it locally and dominate your community, like I'm going to show you a couple of our clients do. Now, do you type in Dr. CEO training, there's over 70 million potential results. Look who's number 1 organically on the first page of Google. And then who has the only 3 videos fed in from YouTube out of 70 plus million. That's how powerful this stuff is. And there's not a lot of people doing it. This is like Google just launched their SEO yesterday. Now, in some industries, there's a lot of people doing it. But in healthcare, that's one of the reasons why healthcare numbers are struggling, especially in orthodontics. Because if you type in dental receptionist phone training for proof over on YouTube, we dominate the first page. And we are being rewarded by Google for our YouTube production over with our search rankings on Google. That's how it works now. And the proof is in the pudding with all of this. But here's the challenge. You got to shoot the videos. And that's the human problem. It's great to go, no one's ever going to disagree with, wow, this helps. I can see how this would help my practice. No one ever says that. But the challenge is, again, are you willing to put in the work? Because it's supposed to be fun. Boy, our clients have so much fun shooting videos with their family, with their employees. And again, that's what people want to see. They don't know if you're a fabulous clinician. You should have content to teach them why you are. But they also want to know, and you've got to make that emotional connection on, wow, I can see myself in this practice. Okay, I can see myself how this would help. Now, let's look how this would relate to an orthodontic practice, okay? You type in orthodontist North Barrington, and this is Dr. Skopak's practice. I wanted to kind of keep it between him and Whitlock today so there's some consistency to show you. Now, there's 261,000 results, okay? Those people up there are paying to be there, which if you're paying for pay-per-click, you should throw that money in the trash. Gen Z, millennials won't click them anymore. There's Skopak Orthodontics right there. He's also the very first organic result. He's the second. And this isn't a small town, by the way. This is Chicago. He's the third. He's the fourth. He controls the first page of Google for orthodontist in North Barrington. Now, he also controls the first page of Google for a lot of other Invisalign, another type of clear aligner, other type of orthodontic methods. But here's the reason why. Okay? It's not just SEO related, it's far more, because those results that I showed you earlier about the phone training and things, we don't even do SEO on Google. That's the piece I left out. We don't optimize anything on Google, but if you go to YouTube, this is why he dominates the first page. He's the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and the list sixth, seventh. He controls the first page of YouTube. And it's so critically important for everybody to understand that you've got to get over the fear of, what do I look like? And, am I skinny? Am I fat? Look, you're not selling HD video production equipment. You're selling yourself, your personality, the things you like. And the success plan for YouTube is right on the screen. Okay, you've got to start by having fun. It's not supposed to be work. It cracks me up all the time when I speak. I always ask people to raise their hand. I said, so who in here in their personal life has fun on social media? You go out with the girls, you have a glass of wine, you're taking pictures, you're posting them, and most of the audience raises their hand, yes. And then you get to the practice, and all of a sudden, social media becomes work. It's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be fun. Getting video testimonials from patients, doing selfies with each other, singing happy birthday to patients. It's supposed to be a good time, but for whatever reason, people look at it and go, God, I got enough to do. How am I going to do that? Have fun with it, which also puts the importance of your weekly meeting in place. Because if you had one when you left here, you could take the other great speakers today, make an itemized list along with me, and you say, all right, let's build this out. Let's pick 3 that we want to do first. We're going to do those. We're going to become excellent at them. Once we are, we'll pick another 3. Doctors, you have to be involved. Your employees should tell you no if you won't do it first. Got to have doctor involvement. Office managers, same way. You can't tell people to do something if you're not willing to do it. Now, you can, but that's called being a boss, not a leader. The employees, I say it a little facetiously, they're not going to tell you no. But the reality is in order to have it be fun and consistent and customized and build trust, leadership team, you got to be involved. Got to be involved. And then it's got to be properly keyword. You can't just throw it up on the YouTube station, but it's got to be advertised properly, all right? So now we've got some YouTube foundational things on our mind, okay? Which leads me into reverse brand awareness, all right? You're looking at the screen, Smile Direct Club, Invisalign, both names we all know. Obviously, Smile Direct Club, not a real popular name for obvious reasons in the orthodontic world. But the one thing they have proven is people want things conveniently, and they want clear aligners. Now, from there, it's all of your job to educate people looking for Smile Direct Club on why they shouldn't use them, but don't bash Smile Direct Club while you're doing it. And I'm going to give you some scripting and some things to work on. All right, but here are 2 companies with huge brands. Now, Invisalign's brand is far bigger than Smile Direct Club. So you as a business have to know how to use their brand to grow your business. Let them spend the money on advertising. That's the beauty of this. If you produce content around people searching for SDC or searching for Invisalign or searching for, some other type of braces, if you produce content around that, you pull up in the search results, all right? And there's ways that companies do this. As an example, if you type in Invisalign into Google, look who pops up. It's Smile Direct Club. They know darn well that Invisalign right now is the #1 most entered search term in orthodontics. #1 most entered search term in orthodontics. Very important to understand that. #2, the most sought after entered term in Google in orthodontics is Invisalign misspelled. So that's the type of brand they have. And if you piggyback it, that's what Smile Direct Club is doing here. Let Invisalign spend a ton of money. We're going to come up whenever people are searching for Invisalign. All right. Here's another way. If you go over to YouTube, they're doing it. You type in Invisalign on YouTube, boom, they have an ad right there. Okay. So they want to pull up anytime Invisalign does any kind of, anytime someone searches it, related to it, Smile Direct Club is piggybacking off of the money Invisalign is spending. Now, the beauty on how we teach social media is the reality is we don't want you spending money on pay-per-click, no ads. Because if you feel you need to, then there's something lacking big time in your digital marketing presence. This is how it works there. Invisalign North Barrington. Okay. So the point here is this is how Dr. Skopak in this particular example is piggybacking off of Invisalign's brand awareness. This is the part, you're the clinician. So whether or not you like Invisalign as a clear aligner, that's up to you. I know our clients, a lot of them do it. They love it. But that's not my job to tell you what to prescribe. However, it is my job to tell you how to grow. And if you don't do Invisalign at your practice, it doesn't mean you won't grow, but you will have to spend more on marketing and you won't grow as much. And I see it as proof in the practices we help. And the reason being is there are so many people typing Invisalign in every single day in Google that if your practice isn't coming up and piggybacking via that reverse branding, you lose opportunities you never even know you had because they never call you to begin with. Now, once they get in there, that's your job to prescribe them something different if you want. Maybe another clear aligner you use. That's your job as a business owner, your decision as a business owner and a clinician. But the reality is you still have to pull up. You have to use those search terms to pull up. And reverse branding is so important to the success in today's new dental economy because of direct-to-consumer. You type in Invisalign virtual consultation. All right, now you're piggybacking off of the virtual consultation being popular. There's Boyd Whitlock right there doing a virtual exam that he recorded. There is Dr. Logan that's doing one as well with Touchstone Orthodontics. They're coming up. Now, this isn't in their area. This is on the first page globally of YouTube. 2 of our clients are pulling up globally. This isn't even in their local area for Invisalign virtual consults. So they know the virtual consult's a hot topic. They know Invisalign's the most entered search term in orthodontics into Google and YouTube. So therefore, they're using those search terms and producing content around it. Therefore, generating more brand, more phone calls, more website visitors, more views, but not having to spend money doing it. A YouTube video is free. It doesn't cost you anything. Now, you have to do it consistently. You've got to have the right team in place that knows how to code it and optimize it, things like that. I get that. But that is far less than you dumping thousands upon thousands of dollars in a pay-per-click. Now, here's an example script. Hi, my name is Dr. Wright with Wright Orthodontics. This is an example of a video. It looks like you're interested in straightening your teeth and getting that beautiful smile you've always dreamed of. I'd like to discuss a great option we have for you called Wright Virtual. And that's the thing. You need to call it something cool. Come up with your own name. Okay. If you use dental monitoring out there, because I know there's some clients on there, it's not DM. Nobody knows who that is. You've got to come up with your own name and create a brand around it. All right. Now it's different if the product has a brand like Invisalign. You do reverse branding, co-branding with them. You don't call it your own thing, but you need to call this your own thing. And that provides an amazing clinical result at the convenience of your busy schedule. And I'm very excited how popular it has become as it is transforming smiles for people with a busy schedule. Now, this is something I'm going to show you. We're going to get to it on how you use Smile Direct Club to come up in your results without bashing them, because there's no need to. If you bash them, it doesn't make you look good at all. Because again, remember, the patient doesn't understand. Now, Wright Virtual allows us to meet virtually for your new patient appointment, and our technology allows you to walk through a step-by-step process of how to take and send photos to us. In fact, go check out our YouTube video I made about it called X. Now, in that video, he's advertising another video. Now, our process ensures an efficient process for you, and you get started at your very first virtual appointment. Addition, many of your appointments and treatment will be performed virtually as well. Remember, clarified message. Your receptionist has these messages. Your YouTube messages have these messages. Remember, and I highlighted this in red because I'm going to show you a video here in a minute. Remember, the doctor you choose matters. Orthodontic treatment is the baseball bat, and we are the people swinging the bat. The investment you make is in the doctor and not necessarily the appliance. One of many great things we offer over a Smile Direct Club and others as well is the personal attention of having me monitor your treatment start to finish. See, everybody listening, your job is to get them to understand their investment is in you. It's not in the appliance. Now, again, when they go searching for Invisalign, that's what they think, or Smile Direct Club, because they don't know. There's no one educating people. It doesn't make them dumb. They're not a clinician. They're not in orthodontics. There's no way for them to know the difference unless people are out there educating them in their community. All right, now I'm going to show you a video that talks about this baseball bat and another analogy that you can do and advertise on your YouTube station and get out to people.
Hey guys, Dr. Skopek Orthodontics, and I've been an orthodontist now for 25 years. I finished dental school 30 years ago. We all go to dental school, become dentists, and then we go for extra education, become an orthodontist. And we learn to use all kinds of stuff like this, straighten your teeth. And it's great. It all works great. You know, you have nice straight teeth, your bite fits well, it's awesome. But now, all that stuff can be replaced with the Invisalign aligners. It's awesome. It's so much more comfortable. It works as well or better than any of those other appliances. Now, what you have to think is Invisalign is a tool. It's a tool we use. If you're going to have a house built, if you're going to have a house built, you don't buy a hammer. You buy the person that swings the hammer. If you're going to buy Invisalign, if you're going to get your teeth fixed, you're buying the doctor that prescribes this. You're not buying Invisalign. And we hear all the time, you know, I'm doing Invisalign, I'm buying Invisalign. You're not. It's a tool that we use. It's like the hammer, it's like the braces, it's the aligner.
And to make sure we continue and get everything in, because that is the video you're going to get. The point is, and good job, well done there, Bob Skopek. Well done, buddy. The point is that you've got to create content to teach people. If they're using Smile Direct Club and you're mad about it, you shouldn't be. You should be mad at yourself for allowing them to go to a company like that because they're uneducated. They have no videos like that. Can you imagine if there were millions upon millions of doctors out there doing that type of video and it was all over the place, bombarded on the internet? SDC probably doesn't exist. Why? Because people understand, oh, wait, I didn't know that. They're investing in you. And here's the key. We hear it all the time. I don't know, blah, blah. Jump into it. The most valuable thing you can make is a mistake. You know, we don't want mistakes to happen. You don't want a plane to crash, but the reality is planes, when they go down, they fix the problem and it doesn't happen again. That's how air travel has become the safest form of really anywhere. You're more safe in an airplane 30,000 feet up than you are sitting in your house. The statistics are amazing. But the reality is you can't be afraid to make a mistake. Jump into this. Mess it up. It's okay. Because that's how you're going to get to sit down at your weekly meeting with your team and go, hey, look, last week, we did 2 new patient virtual consultations. It didn't go very well. We're stumbling over our words, blah, blah, blah. Let's work on it. Let's role play it. And that's the difference in these 3 pillars. That helps build the culture, helps build the employee performance, and it all relates back digitally as well because as you train, you shoot better videos. That's something else that goes back to training and culture. And what I want to do now, you've got the presence of YouTube. You've seen a little taste of reverse branding, co-branding. You've got your receptionist that's now understands how to advertise that you even have this. Now let's hear from our director of marketing. I know on webinars, I like to mix in a lot of different videos and different voices because it's hard, especially as long as everyone sat on there, okay? She's going to talk about some strategies on Facebook and some strategies on Instagram that you can use this content properly to help build your brand, okay? And then we'll wrap it up after that.
Hey guys, this is Haley Shaw-Jeffrey. It is an honor to be able to talk about some of these things related to the virtual consultation and how you can really get more engagement and more reach as far as your Facebook and Instagram is concerned. This is something that's been really exciting that we've been working with our clients with, just because of the state of affairs that we're in right now. But it is definitely something that is not going away anytime soon. So it's so important that people know that you do offer this. So I'm just going to hit on a couple different things as far as Facebook and Instagram is concerned. And I hope that you learned a little bit here and you're able to implement some of these things. Of course, the number one thing is that content is key. It's all about producing that content, like Brian, I'm sure, has said multiple times now. It is all about your personality. It's all about producing this engaging content. But the way to make it go a little bit further, there's some technical things that can go along with it, and I hope that this helps. So for the first thing with Facebook, you definitely, when you shoot these videos, and especially letting people know that you're offering the virtual consultation, you want to pin that video to the top of your Facebook page. That's something that you can do under the settings of that individual post, and it will pin at the very top so that that's the first thing that people see when they come visit your page. Next, you definitely want to engage with the people that are already engaging with that post. Especially if they've commented, you want to like that comment, you want to respond to that comment. All is helping to fight the algorithm, which will show your post to more people. The truth is, just because you have 2,000 followers or 200 followers, they're not all going to see it if we don't do some of these measures to get it out there. So engaging with people, commenting back, asking more questions, getting more comments, things like that are really, really important because more people will be able to see it. The third thing is that you definitely want to give it a title that lets people know what they're about to watch and something to bring them in. So you title it with your practice name and then brand new virtual consultations, or we can see you online now. Something that will engage them and that they know what it is that they're about to click on. You don't want it to just say your practice name or something simple that doesn't.
Again, a quick note before I click play here is that remember, everything we're talking about right now will help you same-day starts internally as well. That downtime, welcome videos, virtual tours, doing these posts to create a brand that you even offer a same-day start in-house. All of these things on the front end of the appointment go into setting your financial expert. I can't tell you how many times the TC doesn't close somebody. It's got little to nothing to do with the TC. It's that she is put in a very difficult position because by the time they sit down with her, they don't see enough value in spending their money. You can present money the best way possible, the most enticing way possible. If they don't see value in what they're buying, it's not on the TC, it's on the doctor exam, the receptionist, every touch point along the way your website looks, all of this, the clarification of your message breaks down. And there's all kinds of psychological studies that talks about that, whether you're a plumber, flower shop, orthodontic practice. Again, you're an entrepreneur that owns your own business. You sell to a consumer. They have choices. And the more competitive a marketplace, because we're now dealing with a commodity, the more competitive the marketplace, the more imperative these things are on the uniqueness that really, remember that customer experience definition. It's got nothing to do with what you sell. It's got partly to do with it. You know, you can't be a horrible coach. You got to be great. But all those other things are what's going to allow them to see that you're a fabulous clinician and that you change lives and that you build confidence with people and give them beautiful smiles and you make their mouth healthier. You help avoid them getting diseases later in their life from gum disease, whatever it is. But you've got to do it. You've got to do it.
Really convey what it is that they're about to watch. And the last thing is you definitely, when working with Facebook, want to upload that video directly into the platform. Instead of linking a YouTube video, when you upload that video into the platform, it will automatically start playing when people are scrolling down your timeline. And that's what we're really going for, is a thumb stopper. The data proves this, and it's something that'll really work really, really well in your favor. Now, related to Instagram, there are a few things you can do on Instagram to ensure that your post is getting as much visibility as possible. The first thing would be that you want to tag the location of your practice. This is something that you can do when you're posting that video. You'll just make sure that in the location bar, you'll type in your practice name. And if you have a business account, it should pop right up. because it will show that post to other people in the area surrounding that location. Next, you definitely want to follow people that like that post. So if they're not already following you, they will follow you. This is that reciprocity that we teach on. If they're like that post, they're interested in what you're talking about, there's a good chance that they're going to be interested in what we see in the future posts that come from you. The next thing is this video is definitely going to be longer than a minute. So you're going to want to post it on IGTV. It's not a different app. It's just an option that you choose when you're posting. So if it's longer than a minute, it will automatically ask you if you want to post it as an IGTV move. If it doesn't, you want to make sure you go down to the little IGTV icon in the bottom and upload it there. You want to make sure that people know what it is you're talking about and bullet point some of the thoughts that you're having in that video. After you post that video on IGTV, you want to make sure to go to your own profile and share it into your story. Instagram stories are getting a huge hit right now. It's something that sits at the very top of the feed before you even start scrolling. So the data is showing us that there are a ton of people that are looking at stories, Instagram stories. So you want to make sure that it's on your Instagram story. And if they're interested further, they'll click it from your story and then be able to watch it in IGTV. This is just a really organic and easy way to get it more engagement, more views, and get it out there. Lastly, we want to definitely add hashtags that we know are trending. Some of those, just a few little tips for you, are coronavirus, COVID-19, stay home, social distancing, quarantine activities. Things like that that we know are getting that feedback already. It will just provide more reach for your video to be able to show it to more people.
So let's wrap it up. Haley Shaw is great. She's our director of marketing, works with our clients, and fantastic. So I appreciate that, Haley. Let's wrap this up. A few touch points here, and then we're all done for the Q&A. Leadership and culture. Do it first. Be sticky. Don't waste people's time and embrace that change. The more you embrace it, the more it's going to help build the culture. Use your phones to sell. Your receptionist is the ultimate sales machine. They are not information gatherers in this new economy. All right, they can do so in a very hospitable and very good experience way. Implement the scripting that we're going to give you, some of the things that I already talked about here. Help them build the brand of that perception you want to have people have in their mind. Role play with them. It's not going to happen by going, hey, you go do it. Role play, practice. Very important. Use your website, YouTube station, Facebook and Instagram, reverse branding. Use those things to your advantage, okay? Invest in them, okay? It can't be done 20 years ago like it was. And then role play. Practice how to do the videos. Get better and better and better. And the great Richard Branson, if somebody offers you an amazing opportunity, but you're not sure you can do it, just say yes and figure it out later. Don't worry if you're going to stumble on this consultation or with a video or whatever. Just do it. And here's to your success. Grow your practice in the new economy with these 3 pillars. There won't be any stopping you if you did. Hope everybody enjoyed that webinar. And thanks to all the speakers today.